The rule for the test of courage is to grab the sangawa on the stone monument at the end of the trail. Teru, who was hoping he'd pair up with Hina, realizes that Kana is his partner, while Hina is paired up with someone else. Kana is feeling scared and her heart is racing, but for other reasons. After their turn comes, they hear the voice of an Okinawan gecko, which surprises Teru because they don't make voices on the mainland. They later encounter their first two Majimun, which are a cow and a pig. And both of them, according to Kana, make people die if they pass in between their legs. But the scariest is Yae in a Sadako-like ghost that keeps coming at the two, mumbling to them to grab her and kiss. Seeing this, the boys begin panicking as Yae is going overboard, but then another scary being pops behind Yae, forcing Teru to grab scared Kana's hand and run away at full speed. As they reach the meeting spot, the two discover that it was Uema and Takaesu who did the cow and pig Majimun, and Yae with that scary girl one. The last one is done by Shimoji, and it was a Pantu, a scary-looking visitor god and a protector god from Miyakojima. The Pantu goes around and visits houses and villages to ward off evil by daubing mud on people. Teru also finds out they were planning to reveal themselves just as Shimoni in his costume scares Yae away. But in the end, everything was good, as Kana obtained an opportunity to hold hands with Teru. The next day, Teru brings out his bike, all rusty from the salt coming from the sea during the typhoon. Hina and Kana reveal they must wash things regularly, especially after a typhoon to mitigate damage caused by salt. Otherwise, this will happen. Teru now plans to have his bike fixed, but finds that even the nearest shop is over 6 kilometers away. Hina then explains that there are just a few bike shops in Okinawa, the least of any place in Japan, as Okinawans don't ride bikes often anyway due to many factors, including the terrain, the salt, and the heat of the sun. Fortunately, they come across Tetsu, who fixes the bike for Teru. At that time, Teru says he wishes they'd all go for a bike ride, but then finds Hina doesn't know how to ride a cycle. However, she denies it completely and tries to show she can ride one, but ends up falling off. Even after this, she tries to blame Okinawa's roads, which are slippery from the salt and the coral reefs used to make the roads. Though, Teru then points out that she fell on the sand, not the road, making her fumble more of an excuse. Meanwhile, Kana is feeling frustrated as if she also didn't know cycling. She could have Teru teach her. Later, just as the second term comes, Teru wants to be nostalgic, but then realizes all his memories after arriving in Okinawa are the most shocking moments. This makes him feel as if he's embarrassing himself in front of the girl he likes and swears not to be surprised by things anymore. Though just after that, he is surprised by the sound and size of the Oshima cicadas, which makes a bird-like noise. Hina then explains, there are 2 types of cicadas in Okinawa, the Kuroiwa Nini and the Ryukyuwa Bura, and that cicadas sing every November. He also finds out that Okinawans go to the sea because they're bored, so they talk to one another to avoid getting lonely. Still, Teru is grateful for his new friends at high school, especially Hina and Kana, who approached him on the very first day of school.